A mind birthed in blood. The genesis of Evil Dead. This is the story of how a cult classic was born from the depths of a young filmmaker's imagination, fueled by a passion for horror and a desire to create something truly unique. Let's get real. The horror genre needed a kick in the pants. By the late 70s, horror films had become somewhat predictable, often relying on the same old tropes and cliches. Audiences were craving something fresh, something that would truly terrify them and leave a lasting impression, a jolt to the system, a chainsaw to the chest. The genre needed a film that would not only scare people but also shock them with its audacity and creativity. It needed a film that would push the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in horror cinema. Enter Sam Raimi, a young, ambitious filmmaker with a vision. Raimi was determined to make his mark on the horror genre, and he had the drive and creativity to do it. He wasn't afraid to take risks and experiment with new techniques to create something truly original, a vision of blood, guts, and demons, and maybe a little slapstick for good measure. Raimi's unique blend of horror and dark humor would become a hallmark of his work, setting his films apart from the rest and earning him a dedicated fan base. Raimi, along with Bruce Campbell and Rob Tapert, formed Renaissance Pictures. This trio of friends shared a common goal: to create movies that were not only entertaining but also groundbreaking. They were willing to put in the hard work and dedication needed to bring their vision to life. Their goal? To make movies their way, no compromises. They wanted to break free from the constraints of traditional filmmaking and explore new, uncharted territories. They were determined to create something that would stand the test of time and leave a lasting impact on the industry. Their first feature film? It was a bold and ambitious project that would serve as a stepping stone to something even greater. 1978. This was the year they began their journey, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become a cult classic. A low-budget horror flick that served as a proof of concept for something bigger, something deadlier, something evil. This initial project was a testing ground for their ideas, allowing them to refine their techniques and build the confidence needed to tackle a larger, more ambitious film. It garnered attention. It attracted investors. The success of their first film proved that there was a market for their unique brand of horror, and it gave them the financial backing they needed to take their next big step. It proved that Raimi and his team weren't afraid to push boundaries. They were willing to take risks and challenge the status quo, creating films that were not only terrifying, but also innovative and original. The stage was set. The Necronomicon was waiting. This ancient evil book would become a central element of their next film, adding a layer of mystique and terror that would captivate audiences. Evil Dead was about to be unleashed. The year was 1981. This was the moment when everything came together, and the world was introduced to a film that would go on to become a cornerstone of the horror genre. The world had no idea what was coming. Evil Dead would not only redefine horror, but also leave an indelible mark on popular culture, influencing countless filmmakers and spawning a franchise that continues to thrill and terrify audiences to this day. Blood, Sweat and Chainsaws, the low-budget triumph of evil. Dead, 1981. Picture this, a dilapidated cabin in the woods. The setting alone sends shivers down your spine, right? Now imagine it as the backdrop for one of the most iconic horror films of all time. 5 college friends, an ancient Sumerian text. They thought it would be a fun getaway, a chance to unwind and explore. Little did they know they were about to unleash unimaginable horrors. What could go wrong? Everything. The moment they read from the book, they awaken an evil force that turns their vacation into a nightmare. Evil Dead burst onto the scene. Low budget, high impact. With a budget of just $350,000, it defied all odds and expectations. The film's raw energy was infectious. The practical effects, groundbreaking and gruesome. From the blood-soaked scenes to the terrifying makeup, everything was crafted with meticulous detail. The story? Simple yet effective. It didn't need complex plot twists or high-tech CGI. Its strength lay in its simplicity and the sheer terror it evoked. But Evil Dead had a secret weapon: Stephen King, the master of horror himself. King saw the film at a screening. His reaction? Pure admiration. He loved it. He championed it. His endorsement was like a golden ticket, opening doors that were previously shut. His endorsement gave the film legitimacy. It caught the eye of New Line Cinema, a major player in the industry. With New Line Cinema on board, distribution was secured. The film reached a wider audience and a cult classic was born. Evil Dead's journey from a low-budget project to a beloved horror classic is a testament to the power of creativity, passion, and a little bit of luck. It remains a shining example of what can be achieved with determination and a love for the craft. Ash vs. The laughs balancing horror and comedy in Evil Dead 2, sequel time. But how do you follow up a cult classic? The original Evil Dead was a groundbreaking horror film that left audiences both terrified and thrilled. You crank everything up to 11. Director Sam Raimi knew he had to push the boundaries even further. Evil Dead 2 wasn't just a sequel, it was a reimagining. Raimi took the core elements of the first film and amplified them. More gore, more laughs. The film embraced its campy roots while delivering even more shocking and gruesome scenes. The blend of horror and comedy was a bold move, but it paid off. Ash Williams, played with manic energy by Bruce Campbell, emerged as a true horror icon. His over-the-top performance was both terrifying and hilarious. Campbell's portrayal of Ash was a masterclass in physical comedy and horror acting. The film found the perfect balance, horror and comedy working in tandem. Raimi's direction was key to this balance. He knew when to push the horror elements and when to pull back for a laugh. The result was a roller coaster of emotions for the audience. It's a tightrope walk. Balancing these two genres is no easy feat, but Raimi nailed it. His unique vision and style made Evil Dead 2 a standout film. The result? A film that's both terrifying and hilarious. Audiences didn't know whether to scream or laugh, a true testament to Raimi's unique vision. Evil Dead 2 remains a beloved classic, influencing countless films and filmmakers. Its legacy is a testament to the power of blending genres and pushing creative boundaries. And that's how you balance horror and comedy in a cult classic. Hail to the King, baby army of darkness and the height of Evil Dead comedy. Hold on to your boomsticks. Took Evil Dead in a bold new direction. Medieval times, time travel, skeletons. This was full-blown horror comedy. Ash, now a reluctant hero, was thrown into a world of swords and sorcery. The film is a wild ride, filled with quotable lines and over-the-top action. Cemented Evil Dead's place in pop culture history. Ash became a legend. His chainsaw hand, a symbol of badassery. Section 5. A bloody resurgence reimagining Evil Dead for a new generation. Time passed. The world changed, but the Evil Dead, still dormant until 2013. A new film emerged. This time the tone was darker, more serious. A return to the gritty horror of the original. The film divided fans. Some embraced the new direction, others longed for the comedic stylings of, but one thing was clear, was back, and it was here to stay. Section 6, Ash vs. Television expanding the Evil Dead universe on the small screen. Television called. Ash answered. Premiered in 2015. The series reunited Bruce Campbell with Sam Raimi. It was a love letter to the franchise, ran for 3 seasons. It gave fans what they wanted, more Ash, more Deadites, more blood-soaked mayhem. The series expanded the Evil Dead universe. It introduced new characters. It explored new corners of the mythology. Section 7, the legacy of chainsaws and catchphrases, Evil Dead's impact on pop culture. Evil Dead's impact on pop culture is undeniable. From video games to comic books to stage musicals, the franchise has left its bloody mark. Ash Williams is an icon. His chainsaw hand and boomstick are instantly recognizable. Catchphrases like groovy and hail to the king, baby have become part of the cultural lexicon. Evil Dead proved that horror could be fun. It pushed boundaries, it broke rules, it made us laugh and scream in equal measure. Section 8. Still groovy after all these years, the enduring appeal of Evil Dead. So why has Evil Dead endured? Simple, it's awesome. The films are a potent mix of horror, comedy, and sheer, unadulterated fun. Ash Williams is a relatable hero. He's just a regular guy who's been through hell and back, literally. The Evil Dead franchise never takes itself too seriously. It's self-aware, it's meta, it's willing to poke fun at itself. And that's what makes it so damn entertaining. Section 9, the future of the Necronomicon. What lies ahead for the Evil Dead franchise? The future of Evil Dead is bright and bloody. Rumors swirl of new films and TV shows. The Deadites aren't going anywhere, and neither is Ash Williams, at least not in spirit. Evil Dead has proven time and time again that it can adapt and evolve. So buckle up, horror fans. The ride's not over yet, it's just getting started.